अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् His Divine Grace AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shankaracharya ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All glories to the Samad. Hare Krishna. All glories to the Samad. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya cha Pranam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. It's nice to see you. It's been about 6 months since I've been here. So I'm very, very grateful to be with all of you. Nice to see all of you again. I'll tell you a story. This is from, it's about the 16th century or 17th century. And a story from Maharashtra. There was a time when there were these Maharashtrian Pandits who were so proficient in Sanskrit, and they would interpret the Bhagavad Gita in a way that was to their advantage. And the people in general, because they did not know Sanskrit, they had to accept whatever the Brahmanas said. So these Brahmanas became very powerful. They were oppressive until a reformer, I'm sure you've heard of the name, Gyaneshwar, showed up. So when I was a young boy, I used to watch on a Sunday afternoon, somehow Doordarshan, that was the channel, I think the only TV station. They picked, at that time, according to me, the most boring movies on the planet and showed it on a Sunday afternoon. And this was one of those. At that time, that's how I felt. Because I didn't understand what it was. It was black and white and long drawn songs that didn't make sense to me. But when I look back, that story was really nice. So in that, Gyaneshwar, because he knows Sanskrit, he challenges one of the Brahmanas on some point. And he says that we should educate everyone on the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita in a way and in a language that common people can understand. So then the Brahmanas refuted it and said, no. that Vedic knowledge cannot be spoken by anyone and everyone. If that were the case, everyone will have their own understanding, and it is not proper. Vedic knowledge should remain with the Brahmanas. He said, no, anyone can say. Anyone and everyone has the capacity and ability to understand God. So then the Brahmanas challenged Gyaneshwar. If anyone and everyone can say, can you make this water buffalo? I was standing right there. Can you make this water buffalo speak the Bhagavad Gita? He said, why not? He turned to the water buffalo and he said, chants the slokas from Bhagavad Gita. And believe it or not, the buffalo started reciting these verses from Bhagavad Gita. So they were all stunned. So Gyaneshwar went on to write his understanding of the Bhagavad Gita in common Marathi language that everyone can understand. So when Krishna Prema Prabhu stands there and says, Nityananda Pran Prabhu, whatever, lectures are inspiring, we should understand that if Krishna can make a water buffalo speak, is this not extraordinary? Because the potency is Krishna's, not mine. And it is not true that just because that I say something different, it's nothing like that. Some days Krishna can inspire and some words may come, and some days, depending on the condition of the heart, like Keshava Kashmiri, he tried many things and his tongue was completely tied. He couldn't say anything in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is connected to what I was going to say. Our ability to express in front of the Lord anything is dependent on the quality of the heart that we carry within, or the quality of consciousness. Generally, when we come in front of the Lord, either consciously or subconsciously, because we feel we have come to the lotus feet of the Almighty, or of the personality of Godhead, the natural tendency is to open up and what they say, play our fiddle. You know what I mean? We sing all our sad songs. This is not working for me. My boss has become very difficult to work with. Nowadays knees are also paining. Blood pressure also, I checked, it is a little high on the side. My daughter, she's been acting a little weird lately. My mother-in-law, my mother's alright, mother-in-law's a little good, etc. etc. Those things just come out. And there is a way to approach the Lord, there is a way to express what you want to express. But actually all these difficulties are there, either physical, mental, emotional, whatever level these problems exist, because we as souls have turned away from Krishna. We have turned away from our relationship with Krishna. And that one thing creates all other challenges on all levels, physical, mental, emotional. Because we turn away from Krishna, we get a package called the material body. This material body is both gross and subtle. To be able to offer proper heartfelt prayer, one needs the touch. In this case, we're going to read Prahlad Maharaj's life. He had the actual physical touch of the Lord. But we also get touched by the Lord through His holy name mostly, or some paraphernalia of His. But being touched by the Lord purifies our consciousness, so we offer prayers that are the right prayers. Prayer primarily means glorification. And there are three things in a prayer. Three components of a prayer. First is obeisances, or offering of respect. We do with the word Dhamma, or some such expression. Then there is another section or piece called glorification or respect, which we talk about the qualities, the nature, the form, the beauty of Krishna. And the third piece is a request. Now generally that's the part where things change. We request from Krishna. I mean, it's not wrong to request, we're having some difficulty, but it's not the purest prayer. So for the prayer to be pure, the request then is of some service to do. Please engage me in some service to you. Please engage me in some service to your devotees. So, I've been recently reading these prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, and what struck me is how it all begins. So the scene is that the Lord, Nrsimha, all of you know the story of Nrsimha, right? I hope. Yes? Anyone who doesn't know the story? Right? Well, those who all know the story of Nrsimha, please raise your hand. Yeah, so, I won't repeat the whole passage, but there was a father and there was a son. Son's name was Prahlad. And we're not talking about my family, although there are some commonalities, especially when it comes to the fathers. The father was Hiranyakashipu, the son was Prahlad. Hiranyakashipu was having animosity towards Vishnu. Prahlad had deep love for Vishnu, and that's why in the household there was disturbance. The father did not like. And anyway, he tried many ways to kill his own son. Nothing happened to the boy. But finally, one day he was so exasperated, he asked, "Where is your Lord Vishnu?" And he said, "Oh, he's everywhere." And he asked him, "How are you getting all this power? I've been trying to kill you and nothing happens to you. Where are you getting this power from?" And his son said, "I'm getting it from the same place you're getting, from Lord Vishnu." "Ah, Vishnu! I don't like to hear that name. Is he in this pillar? You say he's everywhere. Is he in this pillar?" "Oh yeah, he is." So he clenches his fist and smashes the pillar with his fist. And lo and behold, from that pillar comes Lord Nrsimha, half man, half lion. I'm speeding up the passage so we can get to the prayer. So, and Nrsimha fights with him a little bit to enjoy the pastime. Drags him to the threshold of the house or the palace, puts him on his lap and tears him apart with his fingernails. And is very angry because Hiranyakashipu was tormenting his devotee. There's nothing else that angers the Lord more than his devotees being tormented by someone else. So it is described that one should be very careful to not commit an offense such as blaspheming another devotee. Because it described that one of our acharyas written a song that Govinda, Lord Govinda, he takes rest, he relaxes in the heart of a devotee. And he says that the devotee is my life. Govinda Kohena Vaishnava Paran is my life. That is so much that the Lord loves his devotees. So after Hiranyakashipu was killed, the Lord's anger was still not abated. And no one else dared to approach the Lord. So no one dared to approach the personality of God. They were afraid. Generally, it's like that, then the consort of the Lord can pacify. So they asked Lakshmi Devi, please pacify the Lord. She said, I have never seen such anger. I am not. Better to let him be now. So there are all the great personalities, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, all the demigods. They went to Prahlad, little 5-year-old boy, and said to him, you please approach the Lord. Because by your approaching the Lord, his anger will get abated. And because he was ordered by them, he walks up to Lord Nrsimha Deva. It's described that Lord Nrsimha Deva was so gigantic, massive form, mane like lightning, smeared with blood of Hiranyakashipu, chest so vast like the sky, fingernails so sharp, so big, teeth so sharp, they were glistening. His ears were all perked up. You know, have you seen a lion in chase, his ears all perked up. And mouth wide open, dripping with blood of Hiranyakashipu. Very fearsome. And just in terms of size, it was so big that in Mayapur we have a Nrsimha Deva deity. You ever seen a picture of Nrsimha Deva in Mayapur? If you have not seen, after today when you go home, please log on to the web, type in Mayapur Nrsimha Deva, and behold this wonderful form. So when the persons were asked to carve the deity, they carved the deity, and then the devotee said, oh, we also need a little vigraha of Prahlad Maharaj. So they said, how big do you want Prahlad Maharaj to be? They said, well, according to proper proportions, if Prahlad Maharaj deity is about a foot or something. And they said, if Prahlad Maharaj deity has to be 1 foot, then in proportion, your Nrsimha Deva has to be about 100 feet high. So how can we carve deity 100 feet high? And they said, if this deity is whatever height, Prahlad Maharaj size will be so. They said, no, for worship somehow. So what you see is a little deity of Prahlad Maharaj and this deity of Nrsimha Deva, they're out of proportion in that sense. So the size was massive, sitting on Hiranyakashipu's throne that he had taken away forcibly from the demigods. So he approached without any fear, and he offered these prayers. But before he offered these prayers, this is what he did. And the point is, personally this is inspiring for me, it's instructive for me. And since I've been reading this, I thought I'll share this. This is from the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And if you're interested, after this, we have Bhagavatam outside. I urge you to please pick up a set of Bhagavatam for yourself and really get into reading and studying the beautiful Bhagavatam along with Bhaktivedanta purports, which actually bring out the meaning of what's there in the Bhagavatam. So this is from Canto 7, Chapter 9, starting with text 3. Thereafter, Lord Brahma requested Prahlad Maharaj, who was standing very near him. My dear son, Lord Nrsimha Deva is extremely angry at your demonic father. Please go forward and appease the Lord. Narada Muni continued. He is narrating this story to Yudhishthira Maharaj. O king, this is King Yudhishthira. O king, although the exalted devotee Prahlad Maharaj was only a little boy, he accepted Lord Brahma's words. Generally, children who are about 4 or 5, they have a favorite word. Yeah? You have a daughter who's 3? What's her favorite word? Well, maybe your daughter says Nrsimha, but most daughters say, or most children say, no. Prahlad said yes. The exalted devotee Prahlad Maharaj was only a little boy. He accepted Lord Brahma's words. He gradually proceeded towards Lord Nrsimha and fell down to offer his respectful obeisances with folded hands. So that's first. Offering of obeisances with folded hands. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says it twice. Manmana bhavamad bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru. These 4 things. One of them is namaskuru, that one should offer obeisances. We'll discuss a little bit what obeisances mean. And then, when Lord Nrsimha saw the small boy Prahlad Maharaj prostrated at the soles of his lotus feet, he became most ecstatic in affection towards his devotee. Raising Prahlada, the Lord placed his lotus hand upon the boy's head, because his hand is always ready to create fearlessness in all of his devotees. So he put his hand on Prahlad Maharaj's head. Just by offering obeisances, it attracts the Lord towards us. Of course, Prahlad is a very special personality, but he is considered a Mahajana. Mahajana means great person. And we are advised to follow in the footsteps of these great personalities. We emulate our life or our lives in the way these great personalities lived theirs. So when they approached the Lord, they offered obeisances. And the obeisances are offered with such heart, it's very, very pleasing to the Lord. They immediately picked him up and placed his hand on his head. When the Lord has a hand like this, in Sanskrit it's called Abhaya Mudra. Abhaya means fearlessness. So that his hand, Prabhupada creates fearlessness in all of his devotees. By the touch of Lord Nrsimhadeva's hand on Prahlad Maharaj's head, Prahlad was completely freed of all material contaminations and desires, as if he had been thoroughly cleansed. Therefore, he at once became transcendentally situated, and all the symptoms of ecstasy became manifest in his body. His heart filled with love, and his eyes with tears, and thus he was able to completely capture the lotus feet of the Lord within the core of his heart. Prahlad Maharaj fixed his mind and sight upon Lord Nrsimhadev with full attention and complete trance. With a fixed mind, he began to offer prayers in love with a faltering voice. And then he starts these really, really, really beautiful prayers. So we are discussing approaching the Lord. First of all, there are many elements. This is more like dissecting it a little bit. First of all, he was coaxed or urged or instructed by Lord Brahma to approach the Lord. Lord Brahma is considered to be the prime person within the Sampradaya. Of course, he's a prime person in the universe. In our Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, Gaudiya Sampradaya, Lord Brahma is the first personality. He's the main acharya. And Prahlad Maharaj is demonstrating that the order of the Guru or the order of the superior is necessary, or their mercy is necessary to approach the Lord. Suppose Prahlad had just pushed everyone and rushed through and stood in front of Nrsimha. That's not proper behavior. So likewise, when we offer worship on the altar, we first approach Srila Prabhupada or our spiritual master. Seek their permission to approach the Lord. Even here they're all on the same altar. You come to the Chicago temple or go to any temple. When you first enter the temple, there is a simhasan for Srila Prabhupada. And a lot of people, those who are not familiar with, let's say, Vaishnava teachings, they walk into the temple, walk straight to Radha Krishna, offer their prayers, put a little money in the hundi, and walk out. On the way back. They do a little pranam for Prabhupada and go away. So that to some of the persons, not everyone. But the proper etiquette, whether in here when we come in this at this altar or the temple of Radha Krishna, is the first thing to do is to offer our respects to Srila Prabhupada. We seek Prabhupada's permission. We seek Prabhupada's favor to qualify ourselves to stand in front of Radha and Krishna. Otherwise, who are we? Who are we to come in front of Krishna to say, I'm here? And Krishna would say, and who are you? There's a nice pastime of Srila Prabhupada, where Prabhupada was talking about being humble. So one of the persons asked Prabhupada, I'm having difficulty feeling humble. I don't feel like I'm humble. And Prabhupada said, oh. He said that in in all of creation, and it is so vast, it's unlimitedly vast. 3/4 of the creation is the spiritual world, and 1/4 of the creation is a material world, is the material world. And this material world itself is so vast that we can't even imagine. We can't say how big the dimensions are. And it is filled with millions and millions and millions of universes. Each universe emanates from the pores of Mahavishnu's skin. When he exhales out, all these universes come out. And when he inhales, all the universes are withdrawn into his body. These universes are like mustard seeds in a massive sack of mustard seeds. And one such mustard seed is our universe. How big is a mustard seed? One such mustard seed is our universe, which they say is the dimensions about 4 billion miles. And in this universe, there are 14 planetary systems, unlimited planets and stars and luminaries. One insignificant piece of this universe is the earthly realm on which there's planet Earth. And on Earth, there are unlimited living entities. We do feel it, correct? We are having difficulty with 6+ billion people. But there are unlimited other living entities also, in different species. And among all these unlimited species, there are human beings. Practically, we can say unlimited human beings. We do feel it out. Among those, there are so many countries. There is one such country called United States of America. In United States of America, there are so many cities. One such city is called Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, there are so many streets. One such street is called Watsika Avenue. And on Vatsika Avenue, there are so many houses, buildings. One such building is the Hare Krishna temple. And in the Hare Krishna temple, there are so many devotees. And one such devotee is you. And you're having a problem feeling insignificant? We're nothing. We're nothing. But we become something of value when there is the grace of the spiritual master. And by that grace, when we come in front of Krishna, it gives Krishna, or it gives us the qualification to stand in front of him and approach him. So that's what he did first. He has Lord Brahma's blessings. And second, he said, Prahlad Maharaj prostrated at the soles of his, he gradually proceeded towards Lord Nrsimha and fell down to offer his respectful obeisances with folded hands. Obeisances. So we see that when we come to the temple, people offer obeisances. So what you fall on flat is called Dandavat. Vat in Sanskrit means like. Dandavat means like a rod, flat on the ground. So it's an Ashtanga. 8 parts of the body, including the mind, are offered in front of the Lord. Usually there is 7 because body is there, mind is not there. Saptanga. It should be Ashtanga. The mind also. And the idea of offering obeisances is to humble ourselves in front of the Lord and the Lord's devotees. The humbling is to offer ourselves in their service. Generally, nobody likes to do what others tell them to do. Right? Everybody feels important enough. So why should I say what you tell me to do? But when we offer obeisance, it's an expression. So next time we offer obeisance, we know why we're doing it. Right? It's an expression in front of the Lord that I've come here to carry out your will or your order. Most importantly, the order or the will of your devotees. As they say, so I do it. This is the meaning of obeisance. So after hearing this, I hope you don't stop paying obeisance. It should inspire us to offer obeisance. So we use the word Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya. Na-ma. In the material world, everything begins with Ma. Me. I am the center of everything. And everything that I want. There's a beautiful verse that Nrsimha explains that if you are in a whirlpool, then if you are outside the whirlpool, you see it whirling with a vortex. And if you are in the whirlpool, right, from our perspective, how do things look? Everything is moving around us. This is the consciousness in the material world. We are in a whirlpool, but from our vantage, the whole world is moving around the individual. Everything is happening around us. Today the sun is risen. It's nice warm day. Oh, Krishna wanted me to have a warm day. Like I'm deciding whether the day should be warm. Today I had something to do. There was a lot of traffic. Krishna wants me to get delayed. I'm the one for whom the traffic's got delayed. Or did not delay, but things moved fast. That's how we are the center of how we see things moving around us. So when we come in front of the Lord, the first thing we say is Nama. I'm here not for me. In the sense that I'm not here for me being the center of things. One senior devotee there expressed a nice prayer to the Lord. That in this case the deity is made of metal. Generally it is carved with stone, with marble. And this devotee's expression was, "Oh my Lord, how foolish am I, that I come here and when I offer my obeisances, I think I have life and I'm offering obeisances to a stone. When actually the reality is that you are life and I am the stone, that my heart is so stone-like that I can't recognize you." So it's the other way around. It's Krishna who's life, who's live and there, and we are stone-hearted. So we can't recognize. But this is the nature of the conditioned personality. So when we start with Namaha, it's an expression with an intent or with an intention that I'm here for you. I'm here to serve you. So get the next one. When Lord Nrsimha saw the small boy Prahlad Maharaj prostrated at the soles of his lotus feet, he became most ecstatic in affection towards his devotee. So this offering of obeisances, when we offer them humbly. Humble has many connotations. Generally we think humble is like this very timid and cowering and a person with low self-esteem and no confidence. And Prabhuji, can you please move this water bottle from here to Prabhu? I'm so insignificant, I do not do anything. Prabhu, prasadam is served. Yes, Prabhu. That is all I am fit for. So, that's not humility. Humility, there are different dimensions to it. The one dimension is acting in truth. The truth is, we are very tiny and Krishna is very great. We are called Anu, insignificant, and Krishna is Vibhu, significant, potent. The carrier of all the opulences. Humility also means that in our rightful position we can only serve Krishna. So we are coming and setting aside other agenda. Humility is we set aside that agenda that I'm coming to God because I want something from Him. We're not coming for a materialistic exchange. I give you something, yeah, 20, see? Now you do what I'm asking you to do. No. The idea is we're coming without that agenda. The only agenda is seeking service. Seeking service and other things in relation to Krishna. We're seeking the blocks that are in the heart that disallow us from recognizing Krishna's position and reality. The blocks that disallow us from glorifying and serving other devotees. The blocks that disallow us from accepting some service for Krishna. Or blocks that disallow us from understanding the value of being in front of Krishna, Radha and Krishna. These are blocks, and that's coming up next. But when one comes humbly and offers obeisances, it's described, Krishna is very pleased. Nrsimha became very ecstatic. He hasn't asked anything. He's just come in front of him humbly and offered obeisances. Nrsimha is already ecstatic. Raising Prahlad, the Lord placed his hand upon the boy's head because his hand is always ready to create fearlessness in all of his devotees. Fear is a very wonderful affect. It makes people do all sorts of things that they would normally not do. Married people can vouch for it. Okay. No laughing. This is so silly. It must be true, huh? fear makes us do things. Another thing about fear is that feature or affect that binds us to this body. Correct? Because we're all afraid to some degree or the other that, what if I were to die? If I were to die, I have so many other things that I am supposed to accomplish before I die. And mostly accomplishing has got to do with money. Right? Having money is the cause of fear. True or not true? Those who have a lot of money, are they fearful?
Yes.
Audiences mesmerized.
That's why we have banks.
Huh?
That's why we have banks.
Ah, yeah. And now the banks, they're also fearful. That's right. This is a very mesmerized audience. It says Krishna Prema. Actually, I paid him to say all this wonderful things. So if you would like someone to say something for you, pay Krishna Prema Prabhu. He does it well. Okay? And not having money is also a source of fear. The fear that, what will I do in life? Because money brings, at least that's the perception, it brings security. It brings happiness. It doesn't actually. But that's the perception. And the fear that, what will happen if I'm not around? What will happen to this world if you're not around? Nothing. In fact, I can speak in my case, if I'm not around, it'll be a better place. But otherwise the world doesn't change much. But in our own little world, it makes a very big difference. And the fear of losing this body. Even when health goes bad, there's fear. Oh, I won't be able to do what I thought I could do. So Krishna's hand removes fear. If you were to sit and discuss fear, it will take a lot of time. You just roughly get that. That Krishna's hand, that presence of Krishna's hand in our lives removes all fear. So now it is up to us, the responsibility of feeling Krishna's hand or Krishna's presence in our lives is with us. Because from Krishna's side is already given. He is given the scriptures of how understanding of who he is and how to reach him. He has given us the parampara, the teachers who have experienced his presence and have taught how to reach. He has given us the devotees with whom we can associate and learn and feel that fearlessness. He has given us his name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by which we are directly and immediately in contact with him. He has given us prasadam to nourish our body and soul. He has given us everything. Whose responsibility is it to take it? Ours. So if there is fear, it's an indication that we have not taken enough steps towards Krishna to feel that fearlessness. Okay. Next one. By the touch of Lord Nrsimha's hand on Prahlad Maharaj's head, Prahlad was completely freed of all material contaminations and desires. Generally, the thinking is that one should be free of all desires. As Srila Prabhupada would say, if that is the case, then the stone is a better yogi than anyone else. Because the stone has absolutely no desires. He doesn't sit there thinking, one day I'll be a rock. One day I'll be a very big rock. There's no desires. The idea in spiritual life is not that we should be free of all desires. The little adjustment is we should be free of material desires and we should cultivate spiritual desires. Spiritual desires like I want to serve Krishna. If you don't have any desire, you want to serve Krishna? No desire. You want to do some seva for the devotees? No desire. No, you want to have spiritual desires. I want to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. I want to serve the deity. I want to serve the devotees. I want to learn how to approach Krishna. I want to learn how to pray to Krishna, etc. I have spiritual desires. And remove all material desires. Material desires means that directly or indirectly, at the end of whatever we do, the benefit comes to us. We're looking for that, materially. Material benefit means health, wealth, friendship, glorification, etc. These are all peace of mind. These are all things that one looks for. But by serving Krishna, they're automatically there. When Krishna is pleased, evam tushte jagat tushte. That if he is pleased, the whole world is pleased. Because we are his own parts and parcels, by pleasing Krishna, our own pleasure is already built in it. The prayers that are coming up, Prahlad Maharaj says, if you stand in front of a mirror, and when we decorate ourselves, then is the reflection also getting decorated? Yes. We don't separately have to try. Similarly, when Krishna is pleased, we are his reflections. We are his parts and parcels. When Krishna is pleased, we are pleased. This is the nature, that's why they are teaching us, these great personalities. But simply by pleasing Krishna, they don't want anything else. You ask them, do you want it? This is called Anya Abhilasha Shunya. Prabhupada said that one day Krishna will come in front of us, Abhinas, and say, I am like this. What do you want? What do you want? And hopefully we will express that I only want some service to you, service to the devotees. Huh? If there are material desires, then you will say, finally. Yes, this is just the executive summary, there's more. We ask for service. So by his touch, Prahlad was freed of all material contamination. The material contamination, first one is this, the one that is closest. So we think we are this body. And anything connected to this body is mine. It's called aham mama iti. And he says, as if he had been thoroughly cleansed. So the indication is, when we have material desires, we are unclean, dirty. When we have spiritual desires, we're clean. Cleansing is to remove the unwanted stuff. The unwanted stuff is the wrong conceptions that we carry around. I am this body, I am very important, and I should make others also know that I am very important, and that's the goal of my life. I want this and I want that, materialistic things. These are contaminations. They're unwanted because the soul by nature is pure and is always attracted to Krishna. It's the material contamination, the filters that distort that desire into looking something else, looking like something else. Like common example is this bulb is emanating yellow light. You put a little blue color filter on it, and suddenly the room is filled with blue colored light. You put another red filter, the color becomes purple. But the purple light is not the original yellow light of the bulb. And the process of spiritual life is to remove the artificial filters so that the natural light will shine forth. So the natural light of the soul is love for Krishna. Mamaivamsha jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. So we are parts and parcels of Krishna. But when we are here in the material world, we look different from each other, we think different from each other, we have different materialistic goals, and they're all coming from the mind. Manasashtan indriyani prakritisthani karshati is struggling in the material world because of the mind and the five senses. So that's the artificial position we are in. And because we don't know it, we're constantly fulfilling those artificial demands and desires. And once someone tells us you don't need all this, it's such a liberating idea that I don't have to be fearful, I don't have to be worried, I don't have to be in anxiety of any kind, because Krishna will take care. It says, therefore he at once became transcendently situated, and all the symptoms of ecstasy became manifest in his body. These symptoms of ecstasy are the faltering of the voice, the choking of his speech, eyes filled with tears and tears shooting out like syringes, hairs on the body standing on end, like that. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes, in other words, okay, so let me read the sentence before. Although virtually demonic blood flowed within his body, this is Prahlad Maharaj, he was cleansed of all material bodily contamination because of his exalted position as a devotee. Once one becomes a devotee of Krishna, the position becomes very exalted. In other words, such impediments on the spiritual path could not stop him from progressing. What are such impediments? The fact that he had material desires. But he didn't have, that he was born in an environment that could foster materialistic desire. In our case, we can say we have materialistic desire. But yet, those don't stop us. Because he is directly in touch with the Supreme Lord. So we can also be directly in touch with the Lord through the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra and taking up the process of what we call sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti would be worshipping the deity of the Lord, chanting Hare Krishna mantra, associating with the devotees of Krishna, eating only Krishna prasadam. These are principles of sadhana bhakti. Krishna Prema Prabhu, I'm out of time, right?
5
Yes. Okay. Then I'll quickly say these things. Prahlad Maharaj fixed his mind and sight upon Lord Nrsimha Dev with full attention in complete trance. This is another thing, with full attention. Actually, the opposite of attention is inattention. Inattention comes because distraction is a symptom of inattention. So although we may be standing in front of Krishna, or we may be chanting Krishna's name, the mind is somewhere else, inattention. The inattention is that we are distracted by the body, or within the mind there is some disturbance, or someone else is causing some disturbance, the weather is not okay, some past problem is playing out, some future anxiety is playing out. This causes inattention. So he says with full attention. And the word used is susamahita, very attentive or fully fixed. Samahita means all, he was collected, he was all together. It says when one is freed from material diversions and is fixed upon the lotus feet of the Lord, this is called samadhi. Generally we say samadhi is for a person after they have left. Arey wo kahan hai? Oh, samadhi. It's not after death. Samadhi means that the mind is fixed upon Krishna at all times. And how to bring the mind to becoming attentive. They said that one should have proper lifestyle. If one is careful in following proper regulations in eating, sleeping, in defending and mating, if it is properly done, it helps the mind not get too disturbed. That's a whole different topic, but so make it very simple. Being with the devotees, chanting Hare Krishna, following the simple regulations that Srila Prabhupada has given us. If you follow like that, then we see that with passage of little time, not too much, the mind generally becomes understood. Overall. Because I come from a world of statistics, with love averages and standard deviations, from 3 standard deviations, the mind may come to 1 standard deviation. But it's still hovering around the average. Because there is something or the other. And interestingly enough, in all of statistic problems, do you know what's the main goal of statistical problems? It is to minimize the error, the root mean square error around the average. You want the average? There's a lot of error around the average. The whole idea is to reduce the error so you can predict the average. Similar is we want our mind to sway less and gradually come to being fixed on Krishna. Therefore Krishna says twice in the Bhagavad, Man Mana. Have your mind always fixed on me. For the mind to be fixed on Krishna, it needs to be practiced. From sadhana only comes sadhya. We can't say, oh, when I want it, it will happen. You won't. It needs to be practiced. And practice is something that is done every day. Little by little, when we practice, then we culture our mind to become steady, focusing on Krishna and less deviated into things that are material or thoughts that are materialistic. I'm completely out of time. Sorry for, I think I went a few minutes over, 3 minutes over. The children are getting ready for a drama, I believe. Did you hear?
Meanwhile, you can Q&A.
I should have Q&A when the children are walking in?
Yeah,
Wow, that would be interesting. Any questions?
Can you please try to avoid the audience?
Let's see how your mind can be fixed in asking the question without getting deviated, looking at all the little cute children dressed up as Narada Muni and Kala Maharaj. Yes, Mataji, question? Yeah. Yes. Yes. That is why in Kali Yuga, the emphasis so much is you don't have to go to a temple, although if you can, that would be wonderful, but to take up the chanting at home, wherever you are, to chant Krishna's name. It's not that you have to be in a temple to chant Krishna's name. It's nice to chant, it's easier. The mind is reminded of Krishna. You look around everywhere, there's remembrance or the impetus to remember Krishna. At home, you look at the kitchen and all the pots are stacked up. The only time you remember is, oh Krishna, take care of this. But it's easier. But that doesn't mean we can't. At home, we can chant Hare Krishna. Do you have beats? Oh. Then wherever we are, we can access Krishna. This is the greatness in Kali Yuga. That instead of we going to Krishna, Krishna comes to us in the name, in the form of Krishna's name, so we can access Him wherever we are. Huh?
I want to ask, like, you said fixing our mind on Krishna. So, what exactly you do when you fix your mind on Krishna? Like, we remember, and if we remember, then what do we, some visualization of Krishna's deity, or what exactly we do when we fix our mind on Krishna?
Well, it's not what we do after. What is remembering? When we say remembering Krishna, what does that mean? How do we remember someone? By their name, by their activity, by some quality, some paraphernalia. Prabhupada said in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when a mother sees the little shoes of her child, she immediately remembers her child. So everything in the reason we are studying Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam is so that we can awaken the knowledge that everything around is there to facilitate our remembrance of Krishna. Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's pastime, Krishna's opulences. So remembering Krishna means that the mind is with Krishna. We don't have to do anything after. The mind is with Krishna.
So mind's tendency is like always visualizing something.
Not necessarily. When we're remembering, we don't have to visualize. Visualization is an exercise we bring out from the material mind. The Krishna is not material. No, we cannot visualize Krishna. We may recall a picture of Krishna. We may recall the deity form. But the mind fixed on Krishna, we can perceive Krishna in the mind. In the Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, Krishna says, Pratyaksha avagamam dharma. That by practice of the bhakti process, Pratyaksha, Krishna becomes manifest in the mind, all in front of us, so that all senses, including the mind, can fully perceive Him directly. So visualization is a way of recalling, but that's not the mind being fixed, it's recalling. And what's in the mind are images, and mostly images and conceptions of life that reside in the mind. So recalling is a technique, but recalling is not remembrance only. Because once we recall this, then the mind jumps to something else.
So this means that it should automatically go.
The mind will perceive Krishna.
That to practice.
Right. So to practice, what we do is, when we are chanting Hare Krishna, that we try to focus on the sound of the mantra. We're focusing on the mantra. We're also focusing with the mood that we understand that Krishna's name and Krishna are non-different. That by chanting, I am being in the presence of Krishna. Abhinnatvam Nama plus other ways. Bringing the mind to the sound of the Hare Krishna. Otherwise, we're chanting and the mind is hovering.
Visualizing.
Or whatever, hovering, visualizing, different things. But the sound of the name is what we bring our mind to. Attentively listening to the mantra. I'll end with one quick pastime. In the late 60s, in 26 Second Avenue, when Prabhupada would have his Kirtan programs, all these young men and women would come and they would dance, and they were all trying different spiritual techniques. this meditation, that something, different things. So once when Prabhupada had kirtan for a long time, one young lady, she told, Swamiji, when I chant Hare Krishna, I see red light. Prabhupada said, continue, it will go away. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada.